We also must realize that when God calls us, we must obey. Why? Because obedience is time sensitive. Write that down. Obedience is time sensitive. Now, a few years ago, I heard a story from a pastor friend of mine. On his way to church, he said, the Lord spoke to him about talking to his neighbor. And he said, God, I do not have time to speak to my neighbor. I have to go and preach. I will be late for church. So what did he do? He ran to church, he preached his sermon, and he went back home. When he got back home, when he got to the neighborhood, he saw the police car, the ambulance, and the yellow tape. His neighbor had died. And he said to me, it took me a long time to forgive myself because I knew God spoke to me and I did not obey. Is God speaking to you right now? What is God saying to you? You see, my friend did not obey the Lord, and we give God thanks for grace and for mercy. But we have to remember obedience is time sensitive. About 2 weeks ago, I was pondering this thought about obedience being time sensitive. I was going shopping. I was on a Randall Road heading towards Batavia. And I passed this lady on the street, and she was painting a cross. And in my spirit, I felt the Lord said to me, why don't you just stop and pray for her? And I'm like, Lord, I got to get to the grocery store. I cannot stop. We're in a time of racial tensions. This is a Caucasian lady. I'm a black guy. You know, God, we don't know. So I went to the store. But then I got convicted. Huntley, if you're truly my ambassador, you are going to obey me. So on the way back, I said, well, if the lady is there, I'm going to stop and I'm going to pray with her. On the way back, she was there. So I pulled up behind her and I said, ma'am, you do not know me, but can I just pray for you? She said, oh, please, yes, that'd be wonderful. And before I prayed, I said, can you tell me what happened here? She said, well, my son's name is Tim. He was coming back one night and a Comcast truck, I think, got out of control, hit him and killed him. And she came to the spot to paint a cross in memory of her son. Now, I do not know anything about this lady, never met her before, have not seen her since. I do not know if she was in a time in her life where she said, I am giving up, I am done, and this is it. I don't know. One thing I do know, God spoke to me and asked me to pray for her. And I believe God is saying the same for all of us. Will you obey me when I speak to you? Because obedience is time sensitive.